Hello, everybody. Welcome to my first attempt at something new with my updates. So this is going to be my update for quarter three, 2025, and of course, I'll be talking about all the books that I read in quarter two and some other fun stuff, highlights and whatnot. And then we're also going to talk about my plans for quarter three, 2025. This was a suggestion to me by one of my viewers, uh, Jenny. She asked me if I'd ever thought about doing this live, and I had not thought about doing this live, but here we are. I hope you enjoy it. Just a little disclaimer here: I am sucking on a cough drop. If you hear me, moving something around in my mouth, that's what it is, because I'm got a little bit of the sinus stuff going on. So, anyway, I hope you are all doing well. And we're going to go ahead and get right to it. And if anybody pops on, feel free to chat in the comments. I'd love to hear from you and ask me questions. I'm completely open. I'm going to try to limit this to an hour. If it goes less than that, that's fine. If it goes more than that, that's great too. But here we go. So, with this change to the quarterly update, and of course, this is a trial run. We'll see how doing it live goes and how everybody likes it. And if there's a good response, I may keep doing it this way. But I did prepare a slideshow for my books, so I'm pretty excited about that. And it's a little bit different way of being able to give you a visual of the books that I read. So here we go. This is the books that I read in quarter two, and uh, we're going to start with the physical books, and I think I'm going to switch to this view so that you can kind of see my physical books, or maybe we'll just even turn that off for a minute. So the first physical book I read in this last quarter was Darth Vader and Son. I just saw this lying on my coffee table. It belongs to my roommate, and I'm like, oh, that looks fun. And I'm a huge Star Wars nut. So why not read Darth Vader and Son? And I did, and I loved it. It's just fun, cute, quirky. We all know that Darth Vader would probably never have a relationship with his son like this. But what if he did, right? What if he and Luke had a great and very strange father-son relationship? Uh, yeah, so that's what this looks like. But I highly recommend it, especially if you have kids that you are trying to get into Star Wars. This is a fun book, and there's plenty of Easter eggs for fans of Star Wars in this book. You'll get lots of laughs and head nods out of it when you see what they're doing. So yeah, this was a lot of fun. Um, Another physical book that I read was Murder by Memory by Olivia Waite. This is a really short book. It's about 100 pages. I recently got it. It is going to show up in my book haul as well. We'll talk a little bit more about that coming up. But really cute sci-fi mystery. I would say it's cozy for sure. Really great book. And I read it in a couple of days. Really easy read. And I saw this at the bookstore and I'm like, oh, I'd heard about it. I've heard about it on a couple of different channels. And I thought I'd pick it up. So I highly recommend it. And speaking of people I would recommend it to, hello, Mona Lisa. How are you? I would recommend this book to you. I think you would love this book. Just saying. So, hi, glad you're here. Um, so, we're going to move on. We're going to talk about The Illustrated Man by Ray Bradbury. I DNF'd this book. So, I'm not counting it in the books I actually read, but I did DNF it. So, I like to talk about the status of the books on the show. And yeah, it was okay. There were parts of it I liked and that I was really clicking with. It's set up with a frame story. So the first story is about a man sitting in a park. I think it's a park, and he meets this man with illustrations all over his body. And then the final story in the book, supposedly, I didn't read it, but I think the final story wraps up with him concluding his time with the illustrated man. And in between, you're getting all the stories that are showing up on the man's body. So it's a really interesting and unique premise. And I was just really bummed that I didn't enjoy the book like I thought I would. Most of it's science fiction, takes place on different planets, Mars, Venus, things like that. And I think the biggest thing that frustrated me is Mars and Venus don't feel any different from Earth. And granted, this was written in the 1950s. It, you expect it to not be up to date on the latest scientific and astronomical science. And so, you can forgive it for that, but it really took me out of the story and I just wasn't enjoying it. So I did DNF it. I'll probably get a lot of flack for that because a lot of people love The Illustrated Man. I do love Ray Bradbury. One of my favorite books is Fahrenheit 451. I do plan to read other books from him, but maybe science fiction is not his forte. We'll say that. Okay. Now move on, and we're going to talk about Elric of Melniboné by Michael Moorcock. I did not DNF this. I still have a bookmark in it because I am taking a break from it. I have been reading this book for 2 months, and it's good. I'm enjoying it, but I kind of lost interest. And I think that's just, with everything that's been going on. You probably saw my video about needing to talk with everybody about things that have been going on with me, my channel update. So I just set this down temporarily. I will come back to it, but for now, it went back on the shelf. So there we go. And hello. Hi, Danielle. How are you? Glad you're here. So glad you're here to join in the fun. And I hope you're well. The final, actually, that is all of the physical books for the last quarter. So we're going to bring this back up here. And we're going to talk about the ebooks and such that I read in the first quarter. And the first two is, of course, Agatha Christie's Black Coffee, adapted as a novel by Charles Osborne. This was a buddy read with Mona Lisa, actually. Hello, her. And yeah, this was really a disappointment. A lot of it didn't feel like Agatha Christie. As a mystery story, it was pretty good. As a mystery story, it worked fine. But it didn't feel like Poirot, and it didn't feel like Agatha Christie so much of the time. So that was a bummer. And, the play was written by Agatha Christie. The adaptation was written by somebody else. So you got to kind of expect that it may or may not be as good. Hi, Christopher. Good to see you, my friend. And we've got Nikhil here with us as well. Hi. Shelf Esteem, great channel. Definitely check him out as well. Check out Mona Lisa and Book Car as well. They're awesome. Crimson Coronation is a novella written by a good friend of mine, and it is a prequel to a novel that she's been working on for years. And I did read the original draft of this novel. I'm really excited about it, called A Bird Among Wolves. And this is a prequel novella about the necessity of getting rid of the ruler who's a tyrant in the land. And I thought it was really, really good. And I did do a review for it, so if you want to check that out, it is on my channel. John Scalzi. I read a lot of John Scalzi this quarter. Oh boy, did I read a lot of John Scalzi. So the first one I read was Starter Villain, and this is about your average, everyday guy, unmarried, just lives by himself with his cats, and he finds out that one of his family members has died and left him in charge of his supervillain industry. So this mild-mannered guy is all of a sudden thrust into the life of being a villain. So it's quite entertaining. Absolutely love it. There are cats, as you can see from the cover. And yeah, it was a lot of fun. Kaiju Preservation Society. Another really fantastic read. Absolutely loved it. Think Jurassic Park, but with kaijus instead of dinosaurs. And you're on the right track. But it's way more than that. So that's all I'm going to say. But it was an absolute blast. Absolutely loved it. And I did the audiobook for both of these. I did an immersive read. Actually, yeah, I did an immersive read with Starter Villain. Kaiju Preservation Society was just the audio, I believe. But anyway, the audiobook is done by Will Wheaton. And if you've listened to anything from Will Wheaton before, he's just a brilliant narrator. So check these out. He narrates all of Scalzi's books, by the way. When the Moon Hits Your Eye, another one by John Scalzi. And, this is just basically about what would happen to the world if the moon all of a sudden turned to a somewhat edible organic substance that looks and smells like cheese. And there's way more to it than that, but that's the general premise, and that's not a spoiler because it's in the blurb for the book. So, yeah. Dead Things by Stephen Blackmore. This was my patron pick for this last quarter. Josephina picked it for me to read, and it gives you those Dresden vibes, right? But it's definitely different than Dresden in a lot of ways. It takes place in LA, and he's a necromancer instead of just, your average sorcerer or wizard that kind of does a handful of different magical things. His particular skill is talking to dead people and sometimes commanding dead people and summoning dead people. It's quite entertaining. It's an urban fantasy, and I was very entertained. So I want to read more in the series for sure. All right, Empire of Silence. Oh, guys, I have temporarily put this one on pause as well, kind of like with Elric. I temporarily set this one down. I'm enjoying it, but it is very, very heavy on the world building, and so much so that it's a very slow burn. And there's nothing wrong with a slow burn, but it just wasn't the right time for me, I don't think. I was on my third month of reading it, and I was still only 30% in. I'm like, oh, I just gotta set this down for a while, and I'll come back to it. But I do want to finish it and see where it goes. Hi, Nicole. Good to see you, my friend. So glad you're here. City of Dragons by Robin Hobb. This is book 3 in the Rainwild Chronicles. I won't say too much because it's in the middle of a series and I don't want to spoil anything. But if you read the Live Ship Traders, the Rainwild Chronicles are a return to the likes of Beantown and the Rainwild territories and things of that nature. So if you're familiar with those, you're going to feel right at home in the Rainwild Chronicles. This is a controversial one as well. A lot of people do not like it. They say that it just doesn't feel like Robin Hobb, but I don't know what they're talking about. I enjoy it just fine, and it's a great addition to the series, in my personal opinion. Hello there, Jay. How are you? Good to see you, my friend. And hello, Bad. Good to see you. Glad you're here. All right. Going to move on. And that is the end of the books for quarter 3. I did do one last monthly update during quarter 2. So I didn't do the book from that particular first month because I'd already covered them. But now we're into the regular quarterly rotation. I just shared your live stream on my post to show some love. Ah, thanks, Bad. I appreciate you. That's cool. So how's everybody doing? We'll take a break here for just a second and see how you all are doing. What are you reading? What are you up to this weekend? Give me all the deets. I've been pretty busy myself this weekend. Saturday is always my grocery shopping day and then spending time with my partner, and then today should be a fairly relaxing day. I'm probably going to film a video later, but other than that, I'm going to try and relax. I might go to Costco. I don't know. Costco by me is always crazy. Bad says, I'm doing okay. I purchased a hot pink inflatable swimming pool. Ooh, I love it. Hot pink inflatable swimming pool. That is quite the statement. But that's good. It'll give you a way to cool off this summer. That's awesome. Yeah, that's awesome. I did not include it on the slides because I prepared the slides ahead of time, but last night was kind of fun. We watched The Shape of Water. It's a movie by Guillermo del Toro, and I was really just totally immersed. Such a great movie. So if you guys get a chance, check it out. There is a lot of adult stuff, shall we say. So be forewarned. There's a lot of skin, but it's a good movie, and it's classic Del Toro. If you've ever watched a Del Toro film and you haven't watched this one, you're in for a treat. I love pink. Yes, indeed, you do. That's great. All right. Well, I think we're good here. And feel free to make comments as we go along, and I'll take time to step away and post them up here. Recouping from vacation. Yes. Stopped by a bookstore yesterday, got more books. Allergies have been killing me. Working through The Hobbit and doing laundry. Yeah, that sounds like a very full weekend, and recuperating is always rough, especially with allergies. But you got The Hobbit. That's awesome. Finished Stormfront on audio. That's from the Dresden Files. Now trying to figure out what audiobook to listen to next. Oh, that's great. That's great. Well, you can always continue and do Full Moon on audio, Jay, or you could, maybe try out one of the John Scalzi books that I mentioned. They're a lot of fun. They're good palate cleansers, although Dresden is a decent palate cleanser as well. So it's good stuff. Busy weekend, lots of driving around. Okay. Okay, yeah. Yeah, driving really takes it out of you. Yeah, it that can make the weekend feel very busy. Yeah. Good. All right. Well, we're going to move on. We're going to do the books of quarter three. This is and of course this is my pile of possibilities. These are the books that I hope to get to, but I'm not necessarily going to get to, depending on how things go. I might pick some totally different ones because I am a mood reader, but this is what we're working with right now. All right. So the first book I want to read is a nonfiction book, and this is a fairly new release. Okay, and I'm going to minimize that for a second so you guys can see it. And that is the Tao Te Ching, uh, uh, famously attributed to a figure known as Lao Tzu. And this is a new interpretation by and new translation by Ken Liu. If you're familiar with Ken Liu, he wrote the Dandelion Dynasty books. He also translated two of the Remembrance of Earth's Past books. So he did the translation work for Three Body Problem and Death's End. I believe somebody else did the translation for The Dark Forest, but he did the first and third books. So he's fairly well known in the community, in the book community. And I saw that he had put out this book on the Tao Te Ching. So I wanted to check it out because I have other books because I am very much into Taoistic philosophy. And so I wanted to check this out. I have a book by Ursula K. Le Guin, and also a book by Wayne Dyer on the Tao Te Ching. So yeah, pretty excited about that one. So I'm hoping to get to that. I don't read a lot of nonfiction, so that's the one physical book that I have here to showcase on this. All right. Let's see. I'm a mood reader and I am moody. That's great. That's great. A moody mood reader. Love it. That's fantastic. I read zero nonfiction. That's okay, Andrew. Nonfiction isn't for everybody, you know. Most of the nonfiction I read, I have to do on audio because I usually can't pay attention to it. But on occasion, there's a few books, nonfiction books that I read physically, but usually I prefer the audiobooks for nonfiction. So I'm kind of close to where you are. I'm not a huge fan of it, but on occasion I read it. But it took me a long time to get back to nonfiction after graduating college. I'll tell you that much, because I was pretty burned out on everything that was not fiction. Let's see here. I am almost out of my reading slump. Good. That's awesome. I'm getting there. I'm kind of getting out of mine. You have your Garbog. Oh, you have your Garbagus name. I know there were a few possibilities the last time you and I talked. So that's cool. Reading slums can be absolute bastages to get out of. Yes, they sure can. Wow. They are very hard to get out of sometimes. And by the way, Andrew, I'm very glad to see you here too. I don't know if I said that earlier, but hi. Bad is okay. All right. Well, that's definitely a Garbagus name. That's great. I love it. All right. So let's I will take more comments and everything like that. We're going to move on a little bit here and talk about my plans for quarter three. So some of these are for sure, and some of these are distinct possibilities. So Peril at In-House is a for sure thing. My friend Mona Lisa and I have been reading through the Hercule Poirot novels by Agatha Christie. So this will definitely be happening, I believe in July, actually, if I'm not mistaken. So that one is happening. 1984 is a maybe. I really want to get to it, but it's more of a possibility but I never read 1984, and I think it's about time I took care of that. So I will be doing 1984. Um, the next book in The Expanse is also on my pretty for sure list. That is book 7, Persepolis Rising, and I'm really interested to see where this goes because, from what I understand, after book 6, there's a 30-year time jump. So it'll be very curious to see where the characters end up 30 years later. I'm pretty excited. I also really want to get started with Janie Wirtz. She's a booktube darling right now, and I've heard nothing but good things about the Wars of Light and Shadow. So I need to get to that for sure. Take a break for a couple of comments here. Hey there, Mike. Good to see you. I love Hercule Poirot. Oh, I do too. I think he's my favorite detective of Agatha Christie. Although I love Tommy and Tuppence too, so it's hard to pick. And I like Miss Marple, so we'll see. Actually, one sec here. Pearl Inn House is a for sure. Yes, absolutely. I'm so old. I read 1984. 1984. Hey, that's cool. I would have probably been old enough to read that book in 1984. So, but I never did. A lot of schools even require it, but mine didn't. So I just never read it. How are you feeling, buddy? Do you have Goodreads? Oh yeah, thank you. I'm feeling good. I'm feeling much better. I'm slowly getting out of my reading slump, dealing with some sinus drainage and stuff like that. So just got done with a cough drop, but I'm feeling pretty good. Thank you. And I do have Goodreads, yes. And it's just, oh, let me see. I think it's just under Charles McGarry. So if I get a chance here, I'll post it. But it's let's see. I'll just type it. Is Charles McGarry, and if any of you do not follow me on Goodreads, you can feel free to hit me up. I'd love to have you on my Goodreads because even though I've tried other services like Fable and stuff like that, I think I'm pretty stuck with Goodreads, to be honest. So I do not like The Expanse and DNF Curse at 70%. Oh, interesting. Wow, that's one of a few I've heard that didn't like it, but hey, that's totally cool. It's not for everybody, right? Same with The Expanse. So I've absolutely loved The Expanse so far. So I'm going to continue. I think 1984 will be July, if not August. Okay. All right. Cool. Well, I'm done. Oh yeah, that's right. We're buddy reading 1984 as well. So cool. Yes, the Wickwire watch, Andrew. I have the Wickwire watch on here. So we'll talk about that one first since you brought it up. I've heard nothing but good things about the Wickwire watch. It was one of the finalists in the SPFBO, the science fiction fantasy, no, speculative. Anyway, the science fiction and fantasy blog off, whatever it is. Speculative, yeah. Anyway, I can't remember exactly what it's called now. It's a tongue twister. Anyway, Wickwire Watch. I am very excited to get to. So I will be reading that at some time during this quarter. At least that's my plan. And The Lord of the Rings by by J.R.R. Tolkien, of course, but narrated by Andy Serkis. I am going to be doing that as a buddy read with Mona Lisa as well as soon as she finishes The Hobbit. So we're getting into the big guns here. I love The Hobbit on audio with Andy Serkis, so I'm just ecstatic to do a reread of The Lord of the Rings finally on audio. So Cormac McCarthy, correct? Oh, okay. I'm sorry, I didn't catch that. You asked if I'd read a Cormac McCarthy book. Nope. Oh, actually, no, I did. I read The Road. Hated it. Sorry. For anybody who loves Cormac McCarthy, I'm sorry. I don't think his writing style is for me. I might give him another try at some point, but The Road just was not a good book for me. I was 14 in 1984. Okay, I was 9 in 1984. Okay, yeah, so you're a little bit older than me. Um, okay, so I got that. Cormac McCarthy. Okay, Bad was an 84 baby. All right, yep, yep. I was a 75 baby. Wickwire has the best first sentence hook I've read since The Gunslinger. Wow. Now that is a huge selling point because I love the first line of The Gunslinger. The Gunslinger is not my favorite book of the Dark Tower series, but that first line is epic. It's a classic. Road is on my long-term TBR. Okay. All right. Fair. And hey, I hope you love it, Jay. I really do. I hope you love it. Uh, Dad hated it. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. All right. Sounds good. So you and I are in the same boat there. All right. So yeah, got those on the ticket. I want to read another Gabriel K book. The first book I read was Tigana, and I really enjoyed Tigana. And I've heard Lions of Alrasan is a really good book, so I'm going to be picking that one up next for Guy Gabriel K, and hopefully that's going to happen this quarter. And his books they're definitely considered fantasy. They're usually put in the fantasy section at the bookstore. Um, they're more historical fantasy and lower on the magic scale. I would say, from what I've heard anyway, most of his books are very low magic, but they have a lot of fantasy elements, and they're in alternate versions of our world, like alternate Italy and alternate France, different things like that. So I love his prose. It's just beautiful. So I'm excited to do another Guy Gabriel K novel. And then I will be reading Blood of Dragons, the final book in the Rainwild Chronicles, and I am so excited. I just absolutely love this series, and I've been buddy reading this series with my friend Danielle over at Bookcara, and I just can't wait. I can't wait to get to this final book. I'm just waiting on her to finish finish one of the current books she's reading, and then we will be moving on to Blood of Dragons because I think we're both just crazy excited to see where it ends, or see maybe it's going to lead into the next series in a fairly unique way. So that will be fun. All right. So we'll talk about other shenanigans that I got up to in quarter two. But if you guys have any other comments or questions, fire them up. I'm all eyes, I guess. I've got my eyes on. Um, yeah, I'm really excited about the quarter three reads, though. Oh, and that reminds me, I need to do my patron pick for this quarter. So let's see here. So I made some changes, and I'll tell you a little bit about it at the end of this, but I made some changes. The sign of power is no longer being used for my uh, for my um, for my quarterly or for my monthly book picks or whatever I end up doing with it. I figured out a different way to gamify that, so I'll talk about that soon. But I am now using the Stein of Power for my patron picks instead of putting them in my hat. So here we go there. Oh, let's see. All right. Gotta see who gets drawn out of here. And, oh, Christopher. Let's see. Can you see that there? All right. And I think you're on the stream, my friend. So you are the one that I am getting to pick a book from. And Christopher gave me a list. So I'm going to pull that up here. Yeah, Christopher gave me a list of books. And let's see, I just got to find it. Okay. So there's Pines by Blake Crouch. Yes, the odds are forever in your favor. So Pines by Blake Crouch is one option. Digital Fortress by Dan Brown is another one. Or Rosemary's Baby by Ira Levin. Oh boy. Now I own both Pines and Digital Fortress. And I have not read either of them yet. So I'm thinking maybe Digital Fortress, but I'm loving Blake Crouch right now. So that's a tough choice. But I haven't read a Dan Brown novel in a while, and I've read Blake Crouch fairly recently. So I am going to go with the Digital Fortress. And let me grab that off my shelf here. Oh. The Digital Fortress by Dan Brown. I'm really excited. This is one of only 2 books that I have not read by Dan Brown. I've read everything else. And his new book, The Secret of Secrets, comes out in September. And I should have mentioned that because that is also on my pile of possibilities. That's going to be a day one read for me. If Dan Brown puts out a new book, it will be a day one read. And I did not put it on my slides. So that was my bad. So I'll read Digital Fortress, and then in September, The Secret of Secrets comes out, and it's a new Robert Langdon novel, and I can't wait. I'm so excited, really, really excited. My favorite book of Q2. Oh boy, that's a tough one. Wow. I would have to say City of Dragons, I think, by Robin Hobb. That series has just been so good for me. My hat is crooked here. Such a great series for me. So yeah, I'm gonna say City of Dragons was my favorite read of the quarter. Okay, yeah, we got that question there. Hi, good to see you, Alyssa. I'm glad you're here. Thanks for tuning in. And good choice, my friend. That's the one I would have picked. Get you in the mood for his new book. Yes, I agree. That's another reason I'm really excited to read it, because even though it's not a Robert Langdon novel, or at least to my knowledge, it isn't. I don't think it is. It's just a standalone. But yeah, I'm really excited about it. So that'll be good. So thank you, Christopher, for putting that on the list, and I will be reading it and hopefully enjoying it. Excuse me, guys. All right. Well, we will go ahead and move on here to the other shenanigans that I got up to in Q2. And a couple here that I think I need. Oh no, these are all on the highlight reel. Okay, good. All right. So of course, I think the biggest one that stands out to me is going to Phoenix Fan Fusion the beginning of this month, and that was just an absolute blast. Got to meet John Scalzi, actually, so that was cool. And I did do a video recap of the things I got up to at the convention. So if you're interested in checking that out, that's what the thumbnail looks like, and I hope you enjoy it. Cons are always fun. I also finished season 2 of Andor finally, and really enjoyed it. Guys, to be honest, this is probably the best Star Wars television on Disney Plus right now. Dare I say, maybe one of the best Disney Plus shows, period. It's just such a good book, and of course, it's detailing the events that lead up to the Rogue One movie. So I did watch that. We also watched Rogue One right after it. I didn't put that on the slide, but We watched Rogue One immediately after, and then we did a rewatch of the original Star Wars trilogy, which is still the best in my opinion. The original before all the changes, but it's still the best in my opinion. And yeah, just had a blast reliving those classic Star Wars films, even with all the changes. You know, you can't find the originals really anymore, so that's unfortunate. I also got to play some video games. Um, Alyssa will be happy. I got some time to play Call of Cthulhu finally the other day. So I'm working my way through that, and I made some progress. So that's good. I've also been playing Indiana Jones and the Great Circle on my PlayStation. And wow, guys, I am not usually a fan of first-person games. Definitely not first-person shooters. But this is more of a first-person puzzle adventure. There's some action sequences and combat and stuff like that, but it's really well it's really well designed, so it's not complicated at all or anything like that. And I always find first-person games rather complicated. So, but this has been great, and I'm a huge Indiana Jones fan. So if you have not played Indiana Jones and the Great Circle, it's fantastic. And I'm really impressed too, because the guy that does the voice for Indiana Jones, it's not Harrison Ford, it's Troy Baker, and he's amazing. I mean, he sounds like him, same vocal mannerisms and different things like that. And yeah, he's a fantastic voice actor. And believe it or not, he looks a little bit like a young Harrison Ford, and a lot of the motion capture was done with Troy Baker and not Harrison Ford. So I'm sure they used a little bit of Harrison Ford, but yeah, it's a great game. And Call of Cthulhu is just so fun and creepy and scary, and it's great. It's a great horror puzzle game. So it's another first person, but it's more of a puzzle game. All right. I also got a chance to play Star Wars Outer Rim. This is a board game, and you're basically playing a smuggler, or one of many smugglers in the game that are working their way across the Outer Rim, taking jobs, smuggling different artifacts under the nose of the Empire. And I think I played Lando Calrissian, so that was cool. And it's a lot of fun, and it's a pretty easy game to learn too. So, and also I got the Magic the Gathering version of Final Fantasy, or should I say the Final Fantasy version of Magic the Gathering. And I'm so excited, guys. I have been waiting for this for a while, and it is the perfect mashup. If you like to play Magic and you love Final Fantasy, this is the perfect mashup. It's so cool. I got some fun cards. I haven't gotten a chance to play with it yet. I basically just did the unboxing and opening all the booster packs and things like that. But man, I'm a huge fan of Final Fantasy VII, and I got some really cool cards of Cloud and Sephiroth. Oh man, oh man. All right, I better move on because I'm gonna nerd out all day. Um, all right, so I got to play Forbidden Jungle, and you can see a picture of it over here to the side. If you've ever played any of the Forbidden games, there's Forbidden Island, Forbidden Desert, Forbidden Sky, and now Forbidden Jungle. And it's kind of cool the way that they've done this series, because you start off in the on the island, right? And you escape the island. Then you move to the desert, and you're stuck in the desert. We have not beat the desert, by the way, yet. The desert is a real pain in the rear. But then there's the Forbidden Sky, which is putting together a platform to get you to your rocket so you can ascend to the stars. And then now that you're in the stars, your spaceship has landed on this planet that's mostly all jungle, and you have to survive in the jungle. So they're kind of logical sequels to each other. It's really fun. I've never seen a game quite designed that way. But yeah, these are some of our favorite games. Forbidden Jungle was a blast. You basically, it's a cooperative game, so you have to get all of the players uh, out of the jungle to safety before the jungle basically eats you alive, kind of thing. It's cool. It's really cool. Ticket to Ride Europe. I love the Ticket to Ride games. I played the original Ticket to Ride US. I played Ticket to Ride Nordic, which covers you're setting up trains along all the Nordic provinces and such. And then Ticket to Ride Europe is building trains across Europe, and it was great. I loved it. There were some unique dynamics to it that made it a little confusing, but I did enjoy it, and I would definitely play it again. I think of the ones I played, Nordic is definitely my favorite, but I loved Europe as well. All right, so that is it for the board games, and you guys can let me know what you think, and we'll talk about some of my upcoming stuff on the channel notes and such like that. But if you have anything to say, now would be the time. Oh, and I should show. This is a special cloud card that I got in the Final Fantasy set. And I put it in this frame because I want to make sure it's protected. When I looked it up, it's selling anywhere between $100 and $500 right now. It's a mythic rare, if you know what that refers to. So I was quite surprised by that. So I'm like, okay, I got to get a nice little frame for that. So I did that, and yeah. So that's that. All right, well, unless there are any other comments or questions, I'll go ahead and move on to the channel notes. Feel free to still make comments if you like. The first one I want to talk about is I got to do an interview with John and Jacob from Talking Story. If you've watched that channel, they recently wrote a book along with John's wife, Amy. So the author name is J.A.J. Minton. The three of them did it together. It was a family passion project, and they've got 4 more books planned for the series. But Discovery was fantastic, and I got a chance to interview them the other night. That will be up on the channel tomorrow, guys. That's going to go live on my channel tomorrow, so make sure you check out that interview. Show John and Jacob some love, and it was a pre-recorded interview, so it's not going to be live, but yeah, I'm really excited. I got the chance to talk with them, and we had a great time. It was awesome. So I briefly mentioned that I'm changing up how I do my Stein of Power, right? I'm now using that for my patron picks, and I am changing how I do my reading prompts. So, before I would draw a reading prompt out of the Stein of Power and open it on here and see what it said on the paper. I'm changing that up a little bit, and I'm not going to go into details right now, but I turned it into a kind of game, and I've almost got it finished. I will be making a video about the game specifically in the next week or two. So be on the lookout for that. I'm really excited to tell you what I've done. We're gonna call it my deck of power, and that's all I'm gonna say right now. But yeah, I'm excited about that. Community posts. I have turned on community posts for everybody. That's a new feature that YouTube has been rolling out. It would show up in the same area that you see it when I make a post on my channel, where I make just written posts, kind of like a social media post that you would see on Facebook. Those have been a thing for a while, but they've now opened it up to everyone, so it's kind of more social media like in a way. So anyone can make comments in the community, and I've seen it popping up on other people's channels, and I'm like, I thought it was turned on automatically, but maybe not. So I went into my settings, it was turned off. So I'm like, oh, okay, I'll enable that just in case anybody wants to uh, make their own comments in the community. And we'll see how that goes. Channel memberships. I've talked about this in the past. I have always said that I would only do it if you guys wanted it. It's not going to replace Patreon. But if you guys would prefer to do something like channel memberships instead of joining Patreon, I don't expect anybody to do either one of them. Just putting that out there. Please don't feel like you ever have to support me that way. But if you want to, and you want me to turn on channel memberships, let me know, whether you're watching here in the live stream or in the comments below after the video is already live. Let me know. I'm going to kind of leave it up to you guys whether you think that should be a thing. And if you do, great. If not, I'm not going to bother. So, beyond the page. I talked about that briefly in my video where I talked about everything that was going on with me. And this is going to be a new segment on my channel. I'm going to do it once a month. And it will be a place for me to talk about movies, board games, video games, do some deep dives into those different things. I might do a top 10 list of my favorite movies, top 10 favorite video games, do deep dives into movies I've seen or some movies that are my favorites. That is something I will definitely be doing. And I got a lot of positive feedback on that channel about people that are excited about seeing more of that from me. And that makes me feel good. I'm really glad because it's something I've been wanting to do for a while, and I didn't really want to do a separate channel for it. Even though YouTube kind of discourages that, I kind of don't care. So, yeah. So I won't be starting a separate channel, but it won't be like a completely regular thing on my channel. Once a month, where I diverge from the typical bookish content. That'll probably work fine, I think. What do you guys think? And some of you have already commented saying that you like the idea. So that's cool. I do have an upcoming project that I've asked for comments about. You can find it in the posts on my channel, and it is about the Unpopular Opinions Project. And I am basically collecting unpopular bookish opinions from all of you and asking you to, whether you want to be named or anonymous or whatever. And I will be making a video all about everyone else's unpopular bookish opinions. And I've gotten some great ones so far. I'm really excited about what I've got so far. So that is very exciting. But you have until July 1st, which is Tuesday. Yeah, Tuesday. Yeah, Tuesday by the end of the day is the deadline to get those in. So if you have not already given me an unpopular opinion, go over there, tell me that opinion, or you can put it here too. It's fine. Put it in the comments, whatever you like, and we'll get to it. Just not in the live comments, because I don't have a way to go back and find the live comments after the live is done, which is weird, but there we go. And then the final thing I want to talk about briefly is an upcoming book haul. I've tried to stray away from doing too many book hauls on the channel anymore, even though they do tend to do great in the analytics. I just, I know a lot of people don't have money to spend on books a lot of times. And, I'm very privileged in that respect that I have a little bit of leftover money to be able to spend on books on occasion. But I try not to do a whole lot of book hauls. But this is a very unique book haul. because of the way these books came about. So I feel like that's probably okay. What do you think? So I will be doing a book haul here pretty soon with that. And that is all I have for the channel notes. So let me know what you guys think. Thoughts on anything I've shared here, thoughts on books that you were excited for me to pick up and be able to read. Tell me some books that you're excited about reading. I'd love to know that either on the live here or in the comments below if you're on the rewatch. And we have about 5 minutes left until the hour. So I am going to start wrapping it up. But if you have any other comments, feel free to do so now. And I will keep the live going until 2 p.m. my time, 5 p.m. Eastern. So we got 5 minutes. Hit me. Or not, no pressure. No pressure. All right. Well, it looks like everybody is about done commenting, and that's totally good. I am going to go ahead and end it here then. I hope you guys are reading some amazing books. Make sure you continue to read more books. I love being able to share this with you. I hope you've enjoyed it. And let me know, once this ends, hit me with a comment saying, hey, I really like this format. Please do it again. Been reading Servants of Twilight. Oh, okay, so that's by Dean Koontz. All right. Looking forward to reading more Dean Koontz. Nice. I have never read a Dean Koontz book. I'm trying to remember what the really popular one is. Yeah, there's one that he's really well known for, and I can't remember it, but I've heard he's good. Thanks. Have a great day. Love the format. Thanks. I'm glad you liked it, Jay. I may do it again. Watcher. It might be the Watchers. Yeah. I think it was focused on one guy in particular, like a single character series. But I can't remember. Not Thomas Covenant, because I know that's Stephen Donaldson, but yeah. Have another unpopular opinion for you. Okay. Sounds good. I'm excited. Thank you so much, Mike. I appreciate you very much. And I will look forward to connecting with you on Goodreads and anybody else that wants to as well. And yeah, this has been great. Thank you. Hey, quite all right. No worries. It still sounds the same, whether it's a Z or an S. So we're good. All right. Well, thanks, everybody. Tune in next time. Make sure you read more books. I'll see you then.